It's all about how determined you are and how much you want it. So 100%, if you fail the first time, that doesn't mean you can't do it. You just need to be determined and work hard at it, and you'll get there in the end.
This is the Australian Butchers Guild podcast, brought to you by Meat and Livestock Australia, the podcast for passionate butchers.
G'day and welcome to the Australian Butchers Guild podcast. I'm your host, Doug Piper. Today we're shining the spotlight on one of the Territory's rising stars of the meat industry. Joining us today is Tamika Banks from Malone's Butchery in the Northern Territory. Tamika's a passionate apprentice who's fast making a name for herself behind the block. Tamika has recently been crowned AMIC Apprentice of the Year, a huge achievement that recognises her skills, dedication and commitment to the trade. From early starts to mastering her craft and representing the future of butchery, Tamika's journey is one worth hearing. So grab a seat and settle in as we dive into her story, her apprenticeship experience, and what this incredible recognition means for her and the industry. G'day, Tamika.
Hello. How are you?
Hey, I'm very well. How are you going?
Good, thank you. Thanks for having me today.
You're right, mate. And this is your second round with me. You know, we interviewed you with Todd a few months back, and now we've got you on your own.
Yeah.
So you've had a pretty busy last couple of months.
Yes, it has been flat stick, but I'm loving every minute of it.
Let the audience know what you've actually achieved over the last couple of months.
I mean, I guess it really started from last year in Tasmania at the AMIC Nationals, where I placed fourth as my first time competing at such a high level. I took a lot away from that competition, and it just made me realize what I needed to do to get to that next level. So after that competition, I did a lot of practicing at the university at CDU up here. And yeah, just a lot of practicing, a lot of research. And after that, I knew what it was going to take to get that win. And I really wanted it. So I entered again last year in the state competition, and yeah, went to Melbourne this year for nationals and took away the win, which I was absolutely stoked about.
You did a great job, and as I said earlier, you know, you entered the competition last year probably very green, not knowing as much as what you know this time round, but you walked away with your head held high, and you had a plan. You wanted that win, and you came back very hungry, and you took it out. And the level of skill that every apprentice in that competition showed this year has set a really high benchmark. In the past, we've seen apprentices coming through. They've done a great job. But for whatever reason it is this year, all 7 of the apprentices that competed all put in an absolutely stellar job. And for the judges, the 4 judges, it was so hard for us to judge your work because everybody's work was so similar. There was only a couple of points in between each other's end results, I believe. It was a real pleasure to watch and to see the end result.
Yeah, it was a very tough competition this year.
And I think Tasha from Western Australia, she came second. And like, honestly, between you two, it was just so close. But anyway, not taking that away from you, I think you're well deserved. So what else has happened? You were also put up for a nomination for Woman of the Year in the NT.
Yeah, so quite a bit's happened since the AMIC Awards. Winning that competition has made me so well known across the industry now, which is absolutely amazing for me in my career. So yeah, the NT News got nominated for the NT Woman of the Year, which anyone can vote for. And then I've also been nominated for the NT Tradeswoman of the Year as well.
So after winning, has that changed your outlook on where you want to go, what you want to do? If you decided you want to take either staying in butchery and take another career path that way, or you're quite prepared to sort of sit there and might as well lap up the glory while it's there and progress?
Yeah, it's definitely changed how I think about the industry. I didn't know that there was so much more out there until these types of competitions. But yeah, winning has definitely changed my mindset in the fact of just winning one competition has given me so much opportunities and got my name out there, got my social media out there, and it's really kicking off my career. So I'm really grateful that I did enter again and my hard work paid off. And yeah, it's definitely changed how I think about the industry. You know, there's not just managing a store, there's not just owning a store. There's so many different pathways you can go down, even in the admin side of butchery as well, which I did learn a bit more about when I attended the Meat Businesswomen Conference in Sydney just a week after the AMIC Awards. So yeah, it's made me realize that there's so much more out there.
You sound a lot more confident than what you did even 6 or 8 months ago when I interviewed you.
Yeah, 100%. It's I've been on so many podcast interviews, photos, videos, so many things now that it's just like I just feel so relaxed when I do it now.
It's experience, isn't it? It's a bit like the competition. You had a crack at it previously and you knew what it was all about. And with doing other podcasts and public speaking, you actually spoke very well on the night too, mind you. You know, I was very, very impressed.
Oh, thank you.
What do you think you might like to do? So you're still in your third year of your apprenticeship now, or?
I'm qualified now, just recently.
Awesome stuff. So what do you think you'd like to do along the way?
Well, my plans at the moment are just to get as much experience as I can in the trade, and obviously my passion is in the value-added side of things, which I'm really lucky that Malone's Butchery has that to offer, especially in their Port Douglas store. They've got their own chef there that works there, does all kinds of pastry, and they're going to be expanding and making all these new products that I wouldn't have a clue how to make. So I'm really eager to learn that side of things and just get that under my belt as well.
So would you go spend some time in Port Douglas and then take those skills up to Darwin?
Yeah, my plan is to go spend some time at Port Douglas and learn all those new skills. Yeah, and then we'll see where we go from there, whether it's beneficial for Malone's if I come back to Darwin and get those skills into the Darwin store, or not too sure what that side of things look like. But yeah, my plan at the moment is to just go and learn more, as much as I can in the value added side of things.
How important do you think value adding and like creating meal solutions are to a business today?
Well, in the Northern Territory, or especially Darwin, it's not that big of a thing up here, but it's also not many people have really tried to go down that path either. Like, we've got a lot of farmers and FIFO workers and all that just really like their steaks, but we're not a lot of people think about, you know, the busy mums with 3 kids who just want to grab something easy on the way home. So it's definitely something that is growing up here, and it definitely can succeed. It's just making a start on it, really.
For the younger butchers or people out there that are thinking of taking up an apprenticeship, do you have any advice that you'd like to share with them?
Yeah, when I get asked this question, my advice is, 1, don't be afraid to ask questions. There's never a silly question to ask. And when you do ask questions, the butchers and your bosses, they realize that you're eager to learn, and they're always happy to help and answer. And the second thing, which I think is a big thing, is always take every opportunity that comes your way. So never be too scared to go and enter that state competition, and because you don't know where it leads. It can lead to nationals and lead to those bigger events and get your name out there. And, you know, if you're not a little bit scared of something, then you're not in the right place. So it's not a bad thing if you're a bit scared to enter a competition. Like, you know that's something that you really want to do then.
And would you recommend, like, do it more than once, like you did? Don't walk away if you're not successful the first time around. If you go into a competition or even just working in a shop, if you have a bad experience, there's always other opportunities out there. And this trade is just screaming for apprentices and butchers at the moment, and it has done for the last probably 10 years, really. You would recommend, obviously, just stick with it, stick to your guns.
Yeah, 100%. With the competition side of things, if you fail the first time, just keep at it and keep practicing, and you'll find out from feedback and from the judges and from the other apprentices or butchers there, you'll find out what you need to do to get to that next level. And it's all about how determined you are and how much you want it. So 100%, if you fail the first time, that doesn't mean you can't do it. You just need to be determined and work hard at it, and you'll get there in the end. And really, even if you don't, like, I took so much away from that Tasmania comp where I came fourth, meeting all those other apprentices, talking about their shops and what they do every day is enough experience in itself. Like, you don't need to win these competitions to make yourself better. It's really, I find the number one thing is the experience that you take away from each competition, no matter what place you come. And going back to, if you've had a bad experience in a shop, which in my early stages, when I was just a counter hand in a butcher shop before my apprenticeship, I actually did have some bad experiences. But it's really important to know that not every butcher shop is the same. And like I did, I changed shops and started my apprenticeship, and I fell back in love with the trade. So it's really important if you're having a bad experience in a workplace, well, maybe that's just not the one for you and you just need to change businesses. And there is great butcher shops out there like Malone's Butchery that I'm at now. And as soon as I came to Malone's, I've just been growing and succeeding in my career.
It's important for the employers to support their employees, especially the apprentices, to help them through their journey and to make them feel comfortable in the business and be part of the business too, because you've actually got some, like, well, not skin in the game, but you've actually got some ownership of the business, you being one of the managers, haven't you?
Yeah, so I was managing the Casuarina store last year, and then now I'm doing in the Gateway store, just managing 2 days a week, just to coincide with our store manager on his days off, that sort of thing. But when I was managing, it was such an eye-opener and I learned so much from it. In the end, I was still an apprentice and I realized that it was a lot to take on and I needed more training and I wanted to focus on my apprenticeship, those types of things. So I decided to step down. But it's definitely something that I, would recommend and would do again in the future. It's a really good role. And like you said, you learn so much being in that higher role. But yeah, it was a really great experience managing.
Yeah, it's something that it's very important not to get into a role before you're actually ready for it. You've got to feel comfortable in yourself to be able to manage not just the business, but the different personalities that there are in a butcher shop. As we know, there's a lot of different personalities and it changes daily. That is probably one of the most important things is your people skills. I think, I learned that at a very young age, a bit like your age actually, when I went first into a butcher shop, learning how to talk with people, learning how to listen to people too, which is a major important part of it.
Yeah, there's a lot more involved in managing and running a shop than a lot of people think. Like when I was just an apprentice and when I was just a butcher, you don't understand all these behind the scenes that managers have to do. Like you're saying, there's everyday issues. Like you have to know how to talk with your staff. You have to know how to find solutions for problems so they don't turn into bigger things. And you have to learn how to manage appropriately as well so that your team is happy to work with you. And there's a lot more than I ever thought. But yeah, at the time they needed someone managing and they asked me and I was happy to take on a challenge.
Going back to the AMIC competition, getting ready for it, how did you plan for that?
There was a lot of practice days. So pretty much straight after the Tasmania comp, I was like, I want to do this again. I want to have another crack. And it was probably about 6 months or so of after the state comp last year, I'd been practicing on every day off. And Malone's actually even allowed me a couple hours each week to go to the university to practice as well. So again, like you're saying, it's all about how supportive your employer is as well. It takes a big part of it. But yeah, I had a lot of hard work, determination, a lot of research. Some of my products in the value added part of that competition was just from me researching on social media and looking at products that other butchers are creating and seeing like, oh, maybe I could create that. And then I'd try it in my practice days. So
yeah, that social media is such a valuable tool. In particular, TikTok, I think that's where we see a lot of personalities and a lot of some stuff's all right, I think. But there's some stuff that you just couldn't sell in the butcher shop, but it gives you some inspiration, doesn't it?
Yeah, it definitely does.
We've seen some great stuff come out of that and some great trends happen too. One of the main ones that I remember about, and it's not meat related, but it was somebody made something using, I think it was tinned tomatoes. And apparently the shelves all around Australia were stripped of tinned tomatoes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I did hear that was this meal or this dish that involved tinned tomatoes had that sort of an impact. So imagine what you could do if you came up with something for, say, a beef line or a lamb line or something like that, and you made this product on TikTok and everyone went crazy with it. Like people want to make it. They don't want to buy it. They want to go and make it. So hopefully they would go to the customers would go, or shoppers would go to the butcher shop and buy whatever it was that you were using and try to replicate it because it's such a powerful tool.
And we actually have that quite a bit in our stores up here. We have customers all the time saying, oh, I've seen this recipe and they say to get this exact cut of meat. And we help them find the cut and we cut it up how it says in the recipe so they can go do that themselves.
Yeah, it's all part of the service being a butcher, isn't it?
Yeah, sure is.
It's very important. Biggest part. The majors can't do it. They don't have any service component in their meat business, whereas butchers, it's one of the key strengths that we have in this industry to make sure that the customer leaves with what they want every time.
Yeah, 100%.
I believe you've just competed at Meatstock too.
Yeah, so that was my first time competing at Meatstock. I actually didn't even know Meatstock existed until my lecturer at CDU, Rob Owen, brought it up with our team, or brought it up with every apprentice in the NT. And Xander and I went down to Sydney to compete just last week, and it was absolutely amazing. We got to meet the best butchers around the world, got to compete alongside them, got to ask them all the tips and tricks that they recommend, got to watch them compete. It was a really cool experience.
I saw your display. It looks amazing. Very Northern Territory-esque. Your crocodile was brilliant. Were they real feet?
Yeah, they were a real feet, real tail, and the head as well. So
you're joking. I didn't see the tail. I saw the body, the feet, and the head, but it was just it wasn't a real. It was a skull, wasn't it? A skeleton.
Yeah.
Amazing job. Amazing. What cut did you use on that? What was that? The leg of lamb or something?
That was just a butterfly lamb leg.
Interesting. There was some great looking products there overall. Everybody had a good crack. But you're right. Having that opportunity to talk to butchers that you're not working with, that are from any part of the world, is a once in a lifetime, possibly once in a lifetime opportunity that, I think if you've gone there, asked them questions, you've done all you can do to try and better yourself.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like to meet butchers like Brett Laws, Gary from Scotland, who was the previous world champion, Luke Thomas, which is now the world champion, and from a small town where I grew up only a few hours away. So it was amazing to meet all those butchers and the butchers from Great Britain, like Connor Ringrose and Ben Tyndale and Taryn from Canada. And they were all so lovely, which not that I was surprised about that, but it was, you wouldn't feel like you were competing against them because they were all willing to help you and kept asking if you needed anything for your display and asked if you had everything set. And it was such a cool community. That's
excellent. I'm glad they like to support other people because nobody likes to see anybody fail. They just want them to succeed. And that's the way butchery's gone. It's gone. The days are gone of, not speaking to your opposition butcher in the same suburb or whatever, because we're here to help each other. There's enough competition out there with the majors and the food service side of the business with, Macca's and Kentucky Fried and Domino's and all those Chinese restaurants, which I love. But yeah, it's good to see that they're there supporting you guys. I think that's great. Do you think you'd do that again?
Absolutely. Already thinking of displays for next year, but really excited to bring new skills into that next competition because I will have some time in the Port Douglas store with the chef Jason there under my belt as well. So I've got a lot more preparation time for next year.
Well, you were an apprentice they had their own apprentice competition, don't they?
They did have an apprentice part of it that got awarded themselves, but everybody got judged overall. And then it was just the top apprentice that got the top scores and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I wasn't part of the apprentice category anymore because I am qualified now. I ended up placing 14th out of the 28, which I was pretty happy with for my first time. I was aiming for that top 10, but after seeing how skilled all those butchers are, I was very happy with 14th for my first competition. And then, worker for Malone, Xander Trong, he ended up coming third in the apprentice comp, which was really, really cool. It was his first time as well. And it was so close between the apprentices because the first apprentice, Matt, he came 20th. Then it was Riley Homer second. Then it was Xander at 22nd. So, yeah, it was really close for the apprentice comp.
That's incredible. That's great. That's good to hear. Young Riley works in my local butcher shop, actually.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, my son's eats at Saratoga Quality Meats. My son's a butcher there as well, but my son's not interested in competitions. He's got too much else to do, but Riley's certainly shown a lot of interest in it, and he's really keen. I think he wants to be, really get out there and just keep improving and learning as much as he can. He's like a little sponge at the moment. And how about Xander? What year is he? First, second year apprentice?
I believe he's a second year, nearly third year.
Will he be able to go in the AMIC comp next year?
I won't be, but Xander is competing again. Yeah, I'll be alongside him, helping him out with anything that he needs. We've already talked about we'll do some practices and I can be there and help him out with that stuff. And yeah, it's in the talks of myself shadow judging that NT state competition. So I won't be judging, but I'll just be alongside the judges and seeing how they do judge those type of competitions. So that'll be really cool for me as well.
Definitely. Great experience to have to judge. Like, I think it's a great idea to have your shadow judging just to learn, because there's nothing worse being thrown in the deep end. And then you sort of go, oh, how do I judge this? You know, it's a bit difficult. But no, I remember when I first started it was, you've never done it before. You go, how do I do this? But you sort of tend to learn when you've got some experienced guys there, you learn very quickly and you pick it up pretty well. I know that when we were going through your scores this year, everybody's scores this year, we'd sit down and we'd just sort of overview everybody's score and we'd go through each section and we'd call out what we gave everybody. And we were just so close. At the end of the day, it was just so close. It was like, really? Did you get that much? Yes, I did. Okay, that's the same as me, or it was with about 2 points. So it was incredible.
Wow.
So you've all got to be on the same page, you know?
Yeah.
So what's next for you? Obviously, you're back in the shop. What's next for you?
I think just for short term what's next for me is going and getting that experience in the Port Douglas store. Then next year, I definitely do want to compete in meat stock again. And it has been a little bit hard. You know, my career's just kicking off because of my successes as an apprentice, but now I'm not an apprentice anymore. So I have to try and work out how I can keep my career going, as in like keep building it up, because I don't have these apprentice competitions anymore. So that's where we're looking into like the shadow judging side of things as well. And yeah, the meat stock butcher awards as well. Just to keep getting my name out there and allowing me to keep competing at such a high level. So not really any set future plans for too far down the track. But yeah, short term, definitely want to get more experience up in the value added side with Port Douglas and then be able to take that into meat stock as well.
What a cool place to work, Port Douglas.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it.
I remember going up there for a holiday quite a few years ago and I saw the sign on the door. I thought, Malone's Butchery. I thought, I wonder who this guy is. I don't know. Anyway, so I did a bit of research when I got back and I worked out that I knew Todd from when he was working in Sydney. And, contacted him that way. And I think the next time I saw him was in Darwin. We went out for a meal one night. So, yeah, he's certainly been a very smart businessman and really chosen wisely where he has his businesses, you know. And one thing I like about Todd, he certainly does know how to treat people well, his employees well.
Yeah, 100%.
So about to wrap it up. So what do you like to do in your spare time? What are your hobbies?
Well, I used to have a hobby of motocross, but after breaking my collarbones twice, given it a bit of a rest, just recently sold my bike. But yeah, I like to do what every Northern Territorian likes to do, get out there camping, fishing, motocross. But I also do really enjoy being in the university as well. And I've even been a part of some of the school vet classes and being able to help them learn some new things as well. And in my time off from work, when I go over there to practice for these types of competitions, it's really cool to be a part of those types of classes and see the next generation of butchery as well.
Oh, excellent. So any thoughts on being a TAFE teacher, like a trainer?
I have had that thought, but I know that I do need a lot more experience behind my belt before I go into something like that.
It's not a bad sort of thing to be able to share your knowledge with other people, is it? I really enjoy it, and I enjoy learning off other people too.
Yeah.
So what's your favourite meal of beef and lamb? What's your favourite cut?
Well, I might be a little bit biased, but it's actually one of my products from the AMIC event in Melbourne, and it was my burger nest. So it's minced beef. You've got a liquid tandoori marinade on the inside, so pretty much just a marinated burger, but then you've got an inside puff pastry. And it is just beautiful. It's really nice.
Are you selling them in the shop?
No, but I might have to talk to Todd about that one.
Yeah, why not? Give it a crack. Come on, Todd. New line, mate. New line. And what's your favourite job in the butcher shop?
Definitely the creative side, which is hence why I love value adding. I love being able to break a carcass down and into its primals. And then I think that's a cool skill in itself. But then to take it from a whole carcass right down into one value-added product. I think it is just an awesome skill, but it's also something I love doing. I love creating and coming up with new ideas.
We talk about breaking carcasses down a lot on this show, and it's something that I love doing. I used to love doing, and I still love doing when I do a demonstration or something. It's a skill that butchers have that not many other people can do. And I've said this before. One of my old employers his wife was a nurse, and she actually said to him she would much rather have a butcher operate on her than some of the doctors that she's seen.
Yeah.
We must have steadier hands. I don't know why. But anyway, mate, really good to see you. So proud to know you and see what you've achieved at such an early stage of your career. I'll look forward to catching up with you the next time I get up in the territory.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks a lot, Tamika.
Awesome. Thanks, Doug.
This podcast is provided for information purposes only. The MLA Group strongly recommends that listeners exercise discretion and obtain professional advice before relying on any information in this podcast.